Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to talk about the interaction between climate change and land use in our local region. And the context for this is a piece of work that we've been conducting in the School of Environmental Sciences during the past 2 years for a consortium of regional organisations, including Norfolk and Suffolk County Councils, organisations like the local wildlife trusts, the National Farmers Union, the New Anglia LEP, and so forth. And it was a project to create an inventory of all the different types of natural capital assets in Norfolk and Suffolk, both on land, the coast, and the marine environment, what their current status was, and what the pressures on those assets were. And the particular aim here was to form the development of a local 25-year environment plan for the two counties that would complement national initiatives in this area. And we reviewed many different types of assets as part of this work, over 60. But I'll concentrate on just one slide here, because one of the things that we wanted to do was assess how important Norfolk and Suffolk were on a national scale in terms of the different types of assets. So Norfolk and Suffolk are about 7% of the land area of England and about 3% of the national population. But we were able to identify 10 important natural assets where Norfolk and Suffolk represent more than 10% of what's present in England. And it's a very diverse range of assets. It's things that are important for economic activities, like high quality agricultural land and forest, areas of peat, key sorts of habitats like wetlands, salt marsh, lowland heaths, chalk rivers, the aquifers that much of our water supply comes from, conservation designations, and marine protected areas. So the natural assets of Norfolk and Suffolk are very important on a national scale. But we also have pressures on those assets, and we undertook a series of workshops with local experts, and we asked them to identify what they thought the key pressures on those assets were and the sorts of benefits that were at risk from those pressures. And we've summarized the results here in a set of word clouds. So basically the size of the word indicates the relative importance. And we've done it by different types of habitat, the pressures on them, and the benefits that they provide. The thing that's really striking from these results is just how pervasive a pressure climate change is. It affects the land, habitats, fresh water, and coastal marine environment, and many benefits that are extremely important to us: food production, wildlife, clean water, recreation, our landscapes, and so forth. So climate change is a key issue in terms of thinking about how the landscape and the environment of our area may evolve over the next 25 years. But we also need to recognize that how we manage our land could also mitigate the effects and impacts of climate change. And this has been recognized by organizations like the Committee on Climate Change in their report on land use policies for net zero. So they highlight issues to do with low carbon farming practices, tree planting, agroforestry, restoration of peatland, use of energy crops, and so forth. But we need to recognize that land use changes to mitigate climate change could also impact and impair other natural assets. So one of the key issues here is thinking about, well, how do we undertake the correct initiatives in the right places to maximize synergies and reduce trade-offs and disbenefits? And that's going to be one of the key challenges going forward in developing and implementing a local 25-year environment plan, and that's going to be informed by climate change research being carried out at UEA. Thank you.